What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. And today I got another Hit Monkey deck for you guys. This time it's a bounce deck. So the last video I had with Hit Monkey was a Sarah deck. Today we're going to be showing off a Hit Monkey bounce deck. And this deck might be better than the Sarah deck. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it is a fairly strong deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. And one thing I want to get out of the way real quick is I know you're taking a look at the deck. People are going to ask in the comments, and they're going to say, where's Bast? Well, let me just show you real quick. I don't have Bast, okay? That's why Bast is not in this deck list. If I had Bast, it would definitely be in this deck list. It would definitely be an upgrade, but I think this list is still fairly decent without Bast. So, you know, if you don't have it, you can go ahead and try this deck out for it yourself. And I don't have Kitty Pryde either. She's disabled anyways, by the way, but maybe they re-enable her again sometime soon. If you do have Kitty Pryde, she would probably be really good in this deck list. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at this deck list. It's kind of like a fairly standard bounce deck where you're bouncing units back to your hand with Falcon and with Beast to proc the on-reveal abilities multiple times, such as Hood, Iceman, Korg, and you're buffing up cards like Angela and Bishop that benefit from playing multiple cards. So let's go ahead and break down each card here. Starting from the beginning, we have the Hood. The Hood is a 1-cost -2 power card that adds a demon to your hand, which is a 1/6. A 1/6 is a lot of power. And like I said, we can bounce back the Hood with either Beast or Falcon. Falcon will return all your 1-cost cards to your hand, no matter which location they're at, which is actually really comes in handy sometimes. Beast will bounce back cards to your hand that are at his specific location, and he will make them cost 1 less. And there is no minimum of 1, so you can have a 0-cost Hood, 0-cost Demon, whatever. So the Hood is just a really good card to play multiple times, get multiple demons in your hand, and just unload them on the final turn of the game. Which can be really explosive. So the Hood is really good in this deck list for that. Next up, we have Iceman. Iceman is just a really good disruptive tool. Even though you don't see exactly what your Iceman is hitting in your opponent's hand, sometimes it can be deadly. Sometimes hitting a Sarah just absolutely kills their day. And maybe hitting a Shuri makes them play Shuri on turn 5 instead of turn 4. So Iceman is a really good disruptive tool in this deck. And again, you can play him multiple times with bouncing him with either Falcon or Beast. And then Korg is another disruptive tool by just shuffling rocks into our opponent's deck. And this is sort of part of the Darkhawk package in this deck. This deck is also running Darkhawk, which will get +2 power for each card in your opponent's deck. So shuffling multiple rocks into your opponent's deck with Korg is really good by just buffing up our Darkhawk as well as denying them some key draws. So Korg is really good in this deck list as well. Then we have Angela. Angela is one of those cards that just, you know, it's just a good card. Like, even outside of bounce decks, Angela's still a good card. But with the bounce decks, you can play multiple cards on top of Angela, and then you can return them back to your hand with Falcon or with Beast, and then play Angela again, play more things on top of Angela, and Angela can just get to some pretty big numbers. Sometimes your Angela lane can just get really big. So Angela is a very good card in this deck list. Now, of course, we have the Season Pass card, Hit Monkey. A couple things I want to note about Hit Monkey is he will get +2 power for each other card you played this turn. One thing to note is it does not matter what order you play Hit Monkey in. Let's say I play Hit Monkey plus 2 other cards. I can play Hit Monkey first, and he will still get +4 power from those 2 other cards, even if they haven't revealed yet. So the order in which you play Hit Monkey doesn't really matter in his in relation to his on reveal ability. So that's something to keep in mind with Hit Monkey. I really like him in this deck list. And another one is that if you do play him in conjunction with the Mysterio, Mysterio does count as playing 3 cards in 1 turn. So if you play nothing, let's just say you play Hit Monkey and Mysterio in 1 turn and nothing else, Hit Monkey will go to 6 because Mysterio will technically count as 3 played cards. So Mysterio and Hit Monkey is a very powerful combo. And then of course we have our bounce cards here. Beast, kind of mentioned before, he will return your other cards at his location to your hand for 1 less, so really good for popping off those on reveal abilities multiple times. And then we have Falcon. Falcon is another bounce card here that will return just your 1-cost cards to your hand. But what I do like about Falcon is something I touched on briefly earlier, is that he can return your 1-cost cards to your hand no matter what location they're at, no matter what his location is at. So sometimes, let's say maybe you play the hood onto an unrevealed location. Maybe you get lucky and you get a space throne, right? Well, that's not good. Only 1 card can be in the space throne. Well, you can just hold on to your Falcon and surprise your opponent later on and take that hood back to your hand with Falcon. So that's just kind of a small use case that, I really like Falcon in. And then we have Mysterio. Mysterio is kind of one of the MVPs of this deck list because he counts as playing 3 cards. So that is giving +6 to our Hit Monkey. That is also giving +3 to our Bishop. So Mysterio, very, very solid in this deck list. And then, of course, Bishop. Usually always want to play him on turn 3. We want to play him as early as possible so we can get the maximum value out of him. Since this deck likes to play multiple cards, Bishop can get to some pretty high numbers in this deck list. And then we have Darkhawk. Darkhawk is, I believe, the only Series 4 card here. Yes, so Hitmonkey is a Season Pass card. Darkhawk is a Series 4 card, and then everything else is Series 3 or below. Darkhawk is not needed in this deck list. You definitely can run a more budget-friendly deck without Darkhawk. But if you have Darkhawk, you definitely want to run him because he's a very, very solid card. On average, he's going to end up being like, I want to say at least 6 power. And a 4/6 is still decent stats, right? But once you add in Korg and then you're shuffling more rocks into your opponent's deck, you could potentially play Korg 3 times, right? You play Korg from hand, you bounce it back with Beast, play him again, you bounce it back with Falcon, play him again. So you could potentially play Korg 3 times, shuffling 3 rocks into your opponent's deck, giving your Darkhawk +6 on top of all the other cards they have in their deck. Plus, there's other locations that will buff up Darkhawk, such as Subterranea, Vibranium Mines. And if you're playing against a Thanos deck, Thanos decks already have a bunch of cards in their decks anyway. So Darkhawk is just a really solid kind of win condition in this deck list. He's usually one of our big cards. Our big cards are usually going to be Angela, Bishop, and Darkhawk. So just a really good win condition in this deck list. And then we have Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a card I don't really see in bounce decks, but I've kind of just been putting Shang-Chi in all of my decks, to be honest. I mean, it's just such a really good card right now, especially with all the Shuri decks running about and just, really greedy decks that like to play big, tall units. And sometimes, you can Shang-Chi an enemy Darkhawk or a Devil Dino, a Chavez, whatever it might be. So Shang-Chi is never a bad card to throw into any deck. And then last but not least, we have America Chavez. America Chavez is in here purely for the consistency of the deck. We actually rarely play her. Sometimes you might play her, but it's really to make our deck more consistent. And the reason we want consistency in this deck list is because most of the cards in this deck list you want to be playing before turn 6, such as your 1-cost cards, Hood, Iceman, Korg. These are all cards you want to play before turn 6. Same with like Angela, Bishop. Those are cards you want to get out early. The only cards I would say you probably want to play turn 6, and maybe you can slam a Darkhawk on the last turn of the game so it doesn't get Shang-Chi'd. Maybe you play the Hit Monkey on the last turn of the game to get the most value out of it. And then maybe you play Shang-Chi on turn 6 for that little bit of surprise factor. But all the other cards like Beast, Falcon, those are also cards you want to play early on in this deck list. So this deck just has a lot of cards you want to play early on in your game. Bounce them back to your hand. And yeah, Chavez helps us draw those cards more consistently. So that's why I like her in this deck list. So let's go over a couple of card replacements in this deck list. Well, a couple ones I already mentioned was Kitty Pryde and Bast. I don't have either of those cards in this deck list. If I did have those, I would definitely be playing them. What would I take out? I don't know, to be honest with you. That is really tough because I feel like this deck is really solid as is at the moment. Maybe you can consider taking out Shang-Chi or the Chavez. I would say maybe those two. But yeah, this deck is pretty solid as is. If you don't have Darkhawk, what else can you put into this deck list? Well, I think maybe Rocket Raccoon could actually be a decent addition because he's a 1-cost card, so you can be bounced back to your hand by Falcon. And if you bounce him back to your hand with Beast, he becomes a free 0 energy card, and he has an on reveal ability if your opponent played a card here this turn, plus 2 power. So you could potentially activate his on reveal ability multiple times. I think Rocky Raccoon could be a decent pick in here. I think you could also do Scorpion. Scorpion is just a really good 2-cost card, and you can bounce him back to your hand with Beast to play him multiple times. That could be a really good addition as well. Another card that I'm really high on at the moment is Goose. This deck really doesn't run a lot of expensive cards. Our only expensive cards are Darkhawk, Shang-Chi, and America Chavez. So I think Goose can be a good card in this deck as well. It's really good against Shuri decks. Another card you could potentially think of putting in here would be Absorbing Man. I think Absorbing Man could be decent to copy the Hitmonkey, actually, because Hitmonkey can, like I said, he can get to some pretty crazy numbers. As long as, if you just play like a Mysterio, he's going to go to 6 power, right? So you can copy Hitmonkey's ability with Absorbing Man, or maybe you can use Absorbing Man to copy Beast to get a little crazy with it, you know, get some extra bounce in there. So yeah, if you don't have Darkhawk, you can consider one of those cards in this deck list. Another card that I think would be good in this deck list, and I did have her previously, I ended up taking her out, and that was Black Widow. Now, Black Widow is a really good card in this deck list because she is denying your opponent a draw by adding a Widow's Bite to your opponent's hand. So that will buff up your Darkhawk because technically you're taking a card draw away from your opponent. So Black Widow is good for buffing up your Darkhawk and disrupting your opponent's hand, and you can bounce her back with Beast to play her multiple times. But that is the deck list. Let's go ahead and jump into a few games real quick. And I just want to let you guys know real quick that I have been playing a lot of bots recently, so it's been kind of hard to record some gameplay. I'm gonna try my best to record some good games for you guys, but if I get a few bot games in here, I apologize. It is what it is. There's so many things can go wrong when recording games, but yeah, enough talking for now. Let's just go ahead and get into the games. All right, so we got a pretty good hand here. We got a pretty nice curve with Iceman, Angela, and Bishop. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Iceman down. We can just throw him in the vault. Playing Iceman on turn 1 always feels really good. Crimson Cosmos, now that is kind of bad for us. We drew Falcon, which is kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and play Angela into our unrevealed location over here. And then I'm probably going to play Bishop in the vault. You always want to play Bishop as early as possible. And Bar with no name. Okay, so these locations are not great for us. They are not great for us. Hood would be really good into Bar with no name, but now if I play Hood there, it's gonna buff Angela. And my opponent has 12 cards in their deck, so they're actually playing Thanos. So let's go ahead and play Bishop into the vault here. And Wasp and Space Stone. Part of me kind of hopes that they Reality Stone the Bar with no name because, yeah, it's not great. It is not great. I could play Mysterio, but then it'll buff up the Angela, and I don't really want that. So I think I'm gonna play Falcon in the vault. We'll bring back our Iceman. And let's see what our opponent has for us. Actually, I really like the Falcon animation, by the way. As you can tell, I don't really play a lot of bounce because my Falcon is just a purple border and my Beast is a purple border. Like, I haven't split them at all. So bounce is a lot of fun for me. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I think, is I'm going to play Iceman in the vault. And we're going to play Darkhawk. Do I want to play Darkhawk in Crimson Cosmos, or I think I'm going to just go all in on the vault. Go Iceman, Darkhawk. I think that's what we're going to do. And probably Chavez on the Crimson Cosmos. And he goes all in on the Volt, also with the Devil Dino. And Soul Stone. So I'm winning the bar with no name now, but I don't know. He very well could just Reality Stone. So I think it's actually best to just play Chavez in the middle. Yeah, it's actually kind of rare that we really do just play Chavez out like this, but these locations is kind of weird for us. So he wins it if he has a Shang-Chi in the middle and a Reality Stone here. But I think we got to I think we got to challenge that play line because that's a very specific hand that my opponent needs. Although he does have 7 cards in hand, which is quite a lot. So he definitely could have something here to win the game, but I think we're going to go ahead and challenge, especially since he hasn't snapped as well. If he did snap, I would probably lean more on the side of retreating, but we're going to stay in it and see what our opponent has for us. Chavez comes down, and he has a Reality Stone, and that is it. Wow, and it's Isle of Silence as well to deactivate his Soul Stone. Now, the Reality Stone does draw a card, so it actually bumped up his Devil Dino, but we won the tiebreaker. So that was an interesting game, a very close game, but a good game for my opponent there. All right, so we have a pretty good opening hand here. And something I want to point out is I have Iceman and Korg in my hand. Now, which one do you play first? Now, this is just me personally, and this is my reason. But I play Iceman first. And the reason for that is because even though Korg is a card you want to get out as early as possible, the thing is you could potentially shuffle the rock into your opponent's deck, and then they draw the rock, and then you play the Iceman after the Korg, and the Iceman could potentially hit the rock, which is not great. You want the Iceman to hit one of their cards that they want to play from their deck, right? Like, Iceman hitting a rock doesn't really do anything. Usually they're not going to be playing that rock. Usually they just kind of hang on to it in their hand. So that is my reasoning as to why I play Iceman over Korg on turn 1. But if you have a different reasoning or a different opinion, let me know in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that. So it looks like we're playing another Thanos deck, actually. I feel like I haven't been playing against too much Thanos. What we're going to do here, me personally also, I kind of like to separate Bishop and Angela because they can get pretty big. And if we put them in 2 separate lanes, we're kind of splitting our power a bit more evenly. If we put Bishop and Angela in the same lane, it's just so much power, and our opponent's just going to be like, okay, well, I don't need to win that one anymore. I'm just going to focus on the other 2 lanes. So yeah, that's kind of my reasoning to it. And ooh, we got some good cards here. We got Darkhawk, Korg, Mysterio, and Beast. Mysterio, I'm probably gonna wait on because of Jotunheim here. Makes things a little bit awkward. Playing Angela into the Vault may have been a mistake. Maybe what I can do actually is we do Korg, Beast. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just abandon the Vault actually and just focus on Avengers Compound and Jotunheim. That might be the move here. And shuffling a rock into our opponent's deck with Korg is really good for Lockjaw. So what we can do here... Oh man, we got options with the Falcon too. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to Korg and I'm going to Falcon. And I think we're going to snap here because we're going against the Thanos deck. So our Darkhawk is automatically going to be pretty big. And the fact that we're playing Korg multiple times, I think puts us in a pretty good position here. So we'll bounce back those cards to our hand. Korg does remain free. Oh, and it's a Leech. Oh, man. Okay. Well, that changes a lot of things. He does pull a rock, though. He does pull a rock. We lose the Volt for sure, though. That's the problem there. Oh man, that Leech really hurts us. Maybe we just go Chavez again. This is, man, I swear, every time like I'm playing, just chilling in bed on the couch or whatever, and then when I'm recording, like it goes so differently. Like I was not playing Thanos at all yesterday, and now we're getting Thanos decks. Like, what is happening? What is happening? So what we're gonna do here is we'll play Korg over here, and honestly I think we just Chavez in the Jotunheim. But if he plays Thanos, we lose. If he has Thanos, we lose though. I think we have to. We got to go for it here. So let's see what he has for us. Oh, it's a Devil Dino. That's gonna be a big Dino. That's gonna be a big Dino. Safar. Does that actually do anything? No. Okay. And we are getting Miss Marvel emote spammed from our opponent who beat us with a Leech. Okay. I'm just... Okay. It is what it is, man. You know what? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Oh, wow. So I actually just got Bast from the hub. That is insane. That's a turn 1 snap right there. That is a turn 1 snap right there. Bast is going to set everything in my hand to 3. And another thing to note is the way it interacts with Mysterio is that Mysterio will go to 3, but also all his clones will go to 3. So essentially Mysterio becomes a 2 for 9, which is pretty darn insane. And we drew the Beast too. Oh man, that is huge. That is huge. So let's do Iceman Hood, and we could potentially bounce back all of these with Beast, Yondu. Hopefully it's not Galactus. I think this deck probably struggles against Galactus, and it's Adam Warlock, which signals to me that it probably is Galactus. Yeah, I'm not sure about this matchup. This matchup might be a little tough for me here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do Beast and bounce all of this back to our hand. Do I want to play the Demon? I think I do, so we deny the Adam Warlock draw. I think we do. Okay, so he plays a Yellow Jacket. I think we're going to tie Nadavlier, actually, so that's fine. Still denies the draw. So what we can do is we can do Bast. Yeah, we just Bast again, huh? We just Bast again. Maybe we play Hood right now, though. Or, I mean, not Hood, but Iceman. And then we go Bast Iceman here. And it is Spider-Man, so this definitely is a Galactus deck. Definitely. But did he draw Galactus? I don't know. But we are denying him the draw here in Davalier, which is really, really good. I actually don't want a Falcon right now because it'll return all of these cards back to my hand, and we still want to deny the Adam Warlock draw. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do Angela. We're gonna do Angela, and we're gonna do the Hood, and I think we can hang on to Mysterio and Hit Monkey for now. I think we'll hang on to those cards. And he's playing in the middle. Shang-Chi is going to take out our Demon. That's fine. It's already turn 6, so he can't turn 6 Galactus me anymore. So I think we're okay with that. We're actually in a pretty good spot now. We can do like Mysterio. Mysterio, Hit Monkey, Demon is probably the route that we are going to go here. And our opponent does retreat That is just kind of unfortunate for my opponent that I got Bast from the hub, and it works really well with my deck. That's what I'm saying. If you do have Bast, definitely add Bast in his deck list because it's just cracked, man. It's cracked. All right, we got a rematch actually against 10 Titans here. We're going to go ahead and drop the Iceman turn 1. This was the guy I was just playing, and it looked like he had a Galactus deck, but he didn't draw the Galactus. And Yellow Jacket Yondu takes out my Shang-Chi. That actually really sucks. It's actually not good. Murder World. Murder World. What we can do... Let's do Angela. Let's do Angela first. I was going to say we can do like Hood in there, but I actually think I don't want to destroy my Hood. We want to bounce him back with our Falcon here. And he is just going to throw the Adam Warlock in there. That is going to get him 2 draws, but I don't really want to be playing into Murder World. Vormir. Vormir is actually... I think it's actually fine to throw the Hood in there. That's fine. We'll throw the Hood in there, and then we will throw Korg down as well. Get some rocks into our opponent's deck. Oh, an Electro into Vormir. That's pretty good for my opponent, so things are going pretty well for him here. Angela gets buffed from the Hood. And then we got Korg. Now, where's my opponent going to Galactus? I don't know. I don't know. So let's do Bishop here. And then let's do... our opponent's going to snap. That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. Especially since we lost the Shang-Chi. Like, we might be able to win it with Darkhawk. Actually, Darkhawk is really bad because he only has 2 cards in his deck. So he essentially... he probably drew everything he needed. So, you know what? I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and retreat. I don't think we want to challenge a Galactus deck. Especially since his Yondu hit my Shang-Chi. So even if I didn't have priority, I can't Shang-Chi like Death or Null or whatever he has. So probably just best to retreat in this situation. All right, here we got Nadavlier. We got Korg. Do you want to throw Korg into here? Probably. You probably do. This is a good hand right here. We got Korg into Angela, into Bishop. Yondu. Hopefully it's not another Galactus deck. Losing Mysterio does hurt. That does kind of suck for us. Let's go ahead and do Angela here. I'm going to do Angela on the middle location, Xandar. And next turn we will do Bishop. And he has a Bucky Barnes, so potentially could just be like a Death Wave style of deck. And Savage Land. That does actually kind of hope he Killmongers those, because I actually don't really want to return those to my hand with Falcon, since technically they are 1 cost. They will get bounced back to your hand with Falcon, so that can be kind of annoying. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do let's do Bishop. Let's do Bishop on the Nadavlier. And is this a bot actually? It is another bot. Yeah, because he has the gold background and no particle effect. And what is that? An Inked Angel. Inked Angel. Okay, so we are going against a bot. Once again, sorry guys. I don't know why I keep getting matched against bots. But I try to give you guys fair warning, you know. So we're just gonna play this game out. We're gonna play it out because even though this is a bot, I kind of want to see how this deck does against their destroy deck or whatever it is. Okay, so they're just going to play a rock. They're just going to play a rock, and I don't think it really matters what we do. We're just going to probably win this game. But Falcon will return all of our 1-cost cards to our hand, including the Raptors. The only thing that kind of sucks from that is we're kind of denying ourselves a draw with that. We also have Beast. We also have Beast here, so could potentially play multiple cards just to play him for, you know, just to play him. Beasting back the hood is actually good to get rid of that -2. So actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play all these 1-cost cards here and then bounce them back with Beast. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We will fill up our hand and we won't draw a card, but we know we're going to draw Chavez, and I don't think we need to play Chavez. I don't think we care to play Chavez. We're just going to unload our demons and all our 1-cost cards, so I think that'll be fine. We can even throw the Raptors in here. Now, if he has Killmonger, we probably lose. We probably lose. But we can just throw the Raptors in there. We can throw Korg in there. We can throw Iceman. And then we can throw a demon here. And we can do a demon here. And we could... you know what? Well, we could play the hood into Xandar. Because Xandar, it'll get +1 power. And it'll buff Angela. And it'll buff Bishop. So we can go ahead and just kind of slam down all of our cards here. So let's see what this bot has. If they have Killmonger, we lose. But if they don't, then we just win. And that is a big Bishop, dude. That Bishop is absolutely huge. No target for Iceman. 2 cards in hand, so they're both 6-cost cards then. And he has a demon and a wave. So it was a bot playing a death wave deck very, very poorly. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of bots lately, guys. I don't know why, but we got a 20-point Bishop, which is actually pretty cool. So good game to the bot, I guess. All right, guys, so that was the gameplay and the deck list. And once again, I apologize, showing bot gameplay. It's been tough. I don't know what it is, but I'm playing so many bots this season, and I want to show you guys actual players. Maybe I can try and enter in some tournaments and record some gameplay like that, because tournament play, battle mode can get pretty intense. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this deck. I think it is very, very strong. Definitely can be upgraded with Bast and Kitty Pryde whenever they bring Kitty Pryde back. Who knows, right? But anyways, if you enjoy this type of content, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate it, because I'm kind of struggling a bit right now with ideas on what types of videos to do, because I feel like I'm kind of just... I don't want to say I'm getting burnt out, but I'm kind of just running out of ideas what to do, and I want to do things that are different and unique. And I feel like just kind of doing these deck videos, while they can be fun, and I try to be kind of educational, but at the same time, I want to do something different from the norm. So yeah, if you guys would comment, and like and subscribe and all that stuff, I really would appreciate it. And if you stuck around to the end of this video, the keyword for this one is going to be ice, for Iceman. And my dogs like to eat ice. They like to crunch on ice. So keyword for this one is ice. If you stuck around to the end of the video, type in ice in the comments. I'll know you stayed to the end and that you're a real one for that. And I appreciate you. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.